What's up, y'all? Dustin Jones here. This is the PT on Ice Daily Show brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence. Today is Wednesday. That means it is Jerry on Ice, where we talk about all things older adults. Once again, my name is Dustin Jones. I'm one of two lead faculty members within the Modern Management of the Older Adult Division. So we have three courses that all culminate in the certification of Modern Management of the Older Adult, or CERT MMOA. That's two online courses: MMOA Essential Foundations and Advanced Concepts, and then MMOA Live, our 2-day weekend course. Today's topic, all right, we're going to ask the question, is grip strength a vital sign? Is grip strength a vital sign? So let's define some terms here, and then we'll dive into this, review some of the research on grip strength and how this kind of applies to us in our work to try and better serve older adults. So, vital signs. Definition is a sign that is going to indicate the status of the body's vital or life-sustaining functions. I want to focus on that last piece, vital and life-sustaining functions. So typically, temperature, pulse, respiratory rate, blood pressure are the big ones that come to mind, and those are the ones that are not debated whatsoever. However, we have some other things that are trying to slide into that list. Oxygen saturation is one. Blood glucose levels has been an argument for vital signs. Pain was coined the fifth vital sign, and we all know how that ended up. Not very well. The sixth vital sign was coined as gait speed, and several others, but in the physical therapy world, there was an awesome white paper on gait speed, coining it as the sixth vital sign. And so as I read that, and then as I look at some of the research in grip strength and just some of the data behind it, should we throw grip strength in the mix? Should grip strength be the seventh vital sign, if you will? And so let's dive into this a little bit. I do want to acknowledge that oftentimes when we are taking the mic on Wednesdays and we're talking about how to better serve older adults, a lot of our conversations do revolve around lower extremity function. And that's not by mistake. Lower extremity function is absolutely imperative to many older adults in terms of their quality of life, their physical performance, and just their overall function. And so that's why we heavily emphasize getting people strong and mobile and able to leverage their lower extremity function to do the things that they want to do. But do not take that as us ignoring the fact that upper extremities play a huge role in someone's quality of life and independence. I think our occupational therapists, brothers and sisters, speak to this very well. I don't like to view them as the upper extremity specialists and we're lower extremity, even though that's how it plays out in some settings. However, they really understand how one's upper extremity function can have a huge impact on their quality of life. And we're right there with them. We know the upper extremity strength and function and mobility is absolutely huge for people. However, if we were to rank, I think we would all say that mobility is absolutely huge, and lower extremity function, ranks a little bit higher for a lot of the people that we are trying to serve. Now, when we do talk about upper extremity function, especially on Wednesdays, we typically mention grip strength. Grip strength is a pretty interesting screen, if you will, and that's some pretty solid research behind it. Let's dive into some of that, okay? So if you talk about grip strength, you have to mention the article that came out in 2018 out of BMJ. I'm going to talk through this a little bit. We've done a podcast episode on this before, but in 2018, BMJ released associations of grip strength with cardiovascular, respiratory, and cancer outcomes and all-cause mortality, prospective cohort study of half a million UK Biobank participants. So 500,000 folks, about 50-50 in terms of gender. Age range was 40 to 69. Now, when I see age range of 40 to 69, I think those people are young. When you see 40 to 69, depending on your perspective and the caseload that you have, you may think, oh, those are older individuals. I view them as super young. Those are basically teenagers to me. However, they looked at their grip strength, followed them over a period of time, and then were tracking the rates and mortality from some of these conditions. And so I'll just read this verbatim in terms of the highlights of this study. Higher grip strength was associated with a lower risk of all-cause mortality and incidence of and mortality from cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, COPD, all cancer, and subtypes of cancer. Let me say it again. So higher grip strength, the higher your grip strength was, the stronger you were, that was associated with a lower risk of all-cause mortality, that was also associated with the lower risk of the incidence of or mortality from CV disease, respiratory disease, COPD, all cancer and subtypes of cancer. Mark Ripito has coined that as stronger people are harder to kill, and this kind of proved that point as well. Another point of this study was to look at grip strength's ability, predictive ability from an office-based visit. How valuable is this as an office-based screen to perform? Will that give us good information that we can actually intervene on? And what they're arguing for is that yes, it certainly does, and we should be doing grip strength readings. And this is more in kind of the medical context, not necessarily the rehabilitation context. So in terms of health outcomes, grip strength is awesome. It can predict poor health outcomes. It was shown in this study. It's been shown in other studies as well, but not to this extent or this size. But does grip strength give you an idea of the right here, the right now, someone's actual performance? Does low grip strength actually correlate to someone's poor performance or lack of independence right here and right now? And so this has been looked at, and you'll see mixed results. You'll see some studies that show that grip strength does correlate to lower levels of independence and function. You'll see some that say it's not a great correlation or strong correlation. You'll see some that say it's okay in terms of its correlation, but here's a better measure that's going to correlate to lowered independence and decreased function. One example of that is in 2018, a group looked at 32 men in the age range of 69, give or take 7 years. And not a huge study, but they looked at, and I'll just read this title verbatim, is the influence of upper and lower extremity strength on performance-based sarcopenia assessment tests. So their big question was, does grip strength predict physical performance when we leverage some of these common functional measures that we talk about on Wednesdays? Does grip strength predict physical performance in the here and now? And so they did two measures. They did grip strength, but they also did knee extensor torque values. So they did those two, and then they also did some of these functional measures that won't be too abnormal to you all. So gait speed, normal, and then gait speed fast. They timed their sit to stand. They did a physical performance assessment looking at things like, this was an interesting test that was new to me, but it was a 7-item test that looked at writing a sentence, eating, lifting a book, taking a jacket on and off, turning in a circle, and then walking 15 meters and clocking that speed. That is a great measure of many different domains of performance, whether physical or cognitive as well. And so they looked and saw, all right, this grip strength or knee extensor, these knee extensor torque values correlate better to people that are not performing well on some of these functional measures. And what they found is that grip strength did not necessarily correlate to performance on some of these measures. However, knee extensor torque did. Small study, but this kind of reflects some other findings in other studies that are trying to try and stake those claims. And so when you consider all of that, to sum it up, grip strength does a great job of being able to indicate that someone may be at a higher risk of poor health outcomes down the road. But it doesn't necessarily give you the clear snapshot of their performance right now. And so if we go back to the original question, does grip strength indicate the status of the body's vital or life-sustaining functions? Is it a vital sign? From my perspective, which is rather limited, I do not think it is a vital sign at all. I think it is a vital screen. When we think about vital life-sustaining functions, I know lots of individuals that have very, very low grip strength scores that are still living and living a pretty high quality of life. Yes, they may be at risk for poor health outcomes down the road, but in terms of vital life-sustaining functions, I don't think grip strength really meets that category. Now, if we are thinking of more of a screen, a vital screen, then yes, I think it's very important because that can indicate that you need a further assessment to identify particular areas that could be troublesome in the very near future or down the road. And so I do not think it's a vital sign. I think it is a vital screen. So all that to say, I do not perceive this as low value. I think this is a very, very valuable screen that we can leverage regardless of your setting. I think it's something that needs to be standard within our own physical therapy assessments. When we're working with individuals, we definitely want to do the vitals are vital. We want to be checking blood pressure, respiratory rate, their pulse, all those fun things. But I think grip strength should be viewed more as a screen, but very, very regular. It is not vital or a life-sustaining function. However, it is a very valuable number that can lead you to further assessment to see where they may potentially have issues that you can definitely impact. It is a vital screen. And once we have that number, then we can look at their actual physical performance with some of these other functional measures that we talk about on Wednesdays or in the modern management of the older adult curriculum. Or you can do some of your orthopedic examinations to see where they may have deficits in particular areas that could be leading to impaired performance in terms of function and things that they actually care about. So that's how I like to view grip strength. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you view grip strength? Is it a vital sign or is it just a vital screen? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. If you're listening on the podcast, go on the Facebook video and I'll have links to some of these articles that I mentioned. If you're on Instagram, leave a comment and tag me at Jaros Health. I'd love to have a discussion about this topic and how we should properly view grip strength within our assessments. All right, that's what I got for you. I'd love some feedback there. All I got in terms of courses coming up is Modern Management of the Older Adult Essential Foundations. We will be kicking that off on July 8th. So we already have some registrations coming in for that. That is starting to fill up. So July 8th is the next cohort of Modern Management of the Older Adult Essential Foundation. So if you're looking for 16 continuing education credits, an engaging online course with another group of motivated clinicians where you're actually going to implement a lot of things that we learned through the different assignments and discussion, sign up for that. We'd love to see you all. Otherwise, I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a lovely rest of your day.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.